Pam, I was thinking since I've been seeing you dance all the time, I think you're getting thinner and thinner. What? Have you noticed?
No.
I think you are.
My weight has just really leveled out, but there's days, right?
You're so wild. So are we ready to go live in this group?
Yeah.
We're not, no. Actually, we're not going live in the group because we're doing a meeting, so they have to get on.
Okay. All right.
So we'll wait for the.
And we're gonna do some dancing. I'm gonna turn the men on song on.
What's men? I don't know that song.
This is for King and Country.
Oh, for King and Country. Yeah.
I love that band. And then we're gonna talk belief, right?
Yeah, that's a good thing to talk about. Belief is important.
Okay.
I'm sorry if I pulled you away from your spin class.
No, that's okay. I'm glad you did. No problem.
I was like, I thought to myself, is Pam teaching spin right now? She's probably like, keep spinning. I gotta go work my CBD business. I was just imagining you telling them, keep rolling. You're doing a good job.
Okay. Is this black? I wonder if this light is like not the best. I don't care. That's okay.
Where's your husband?
He's still working.
Is he a carpenter?
He is an electrician.
Electrician, okay.
So yeah, Eve is going into practice on her own.
Praise the Lord!
In the old Brea building. So he's been remodeling over there, and it's just the way God lines things up. Their rent went up, so they had to start looking for a new place. She owns that building. Her building vacated. Why pay rent to somebody else?
Right. Oh my gosh, that's so great. When is that opening?
Hopefully March.
Awesome. And so your husband's working on that project right now? Kind of revamping it so that he can.
Project 7 days a week.
Wow.
You know how she is, right?
Yeah, she loves modern and all the cool stuff, so I'm sure it'll be super cool.
Right.
Awesome. I didn't even know.
She's also a hustler. She's such a worker.
I love it. And then also, so I love my brother Randy, he's all about Mandan businesses and all that.
Yeah.
Because he has a bunch of, he just bought Big O Tire on the Strip. They opened that. So he's all about bringing like business innovation to Mandan.
Yeah.
That's good. More businesses in Mandan. Let it go. Does Eve live in Mandan?
Yes, she does.
Okay, I didn't know that. Well, that'll be more convenient for her. Then it'll be perfect.
There, that's way better.
Yeah, okay. That is way better. Where are you at now?
Softer light on the wrinkles.
Yeah. No.
Somebody told me today how nice my skin looked.
Absolutely. Well, when did you hear Dr. Stuart Titus say it's the fountain of youth?
Yeah.
He said if there ever was a fountain of youth, he said it absolutely is CBD, and then he talked about the neurogenesis that happens.
Well, I suppose we better get on. I'm going to find my music, okay?
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Brecca! Hey! Woo!
Gavin's dancing every day. She's a dancing machine. That's funny. Brecca's eating.
I'm eating cheese curds.
Wow, you're so cute. Where did you get?
I'm on my way home from work. I got a car full of groceries.
How was work?
It was a busy day.
Awesome.
Work is work.
You don't want to be bored. You don't want to be bored. Hey, so did you catch? I saw you caught a little bit of that Dr. Titus webinar today at noon.
Yeah, I watched. I watched the replay, so I watched almost all of it. I got about 20 minutes left to watch tonight, but it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty awesome, and I like that Blake spoke. I like that all three of them spoke, so it was kind of a little bit different perspective.
Very cool that you arranged that. Yes.
Yeah, that was really. I didn't know Blake was going to get on. I had emailed him, like, I'm not kidding if I said 8 times, and I was like, okay, well, he may or may not do it. He may or may not be on. We don't know. And then Randy's like, let me text him. And I'm like, that would be awesome if you could get on, but we won't hold our breath. That's okay either way. But he was able to get on, so that was great. They've been busy all week too, and they've been busy helping us in North Dakota at every moment's notice that I need them, which is good. So, Brecca.
How was your weekend boot camp, Brecca?
Well, I only sat in on a few parts of it. I'm going to go back and rewatch it, but it gave me a lot of motivation. So I feel like over the holidays, I was kind of slacking and we just had a lot going on. And I think it was a good little jump start, you know, and it got me motivated because tomorrow I have an event. So, you know, it gave me some ideas for that as well, which is awesome. So,
yeah, absolutely. And I think that just a little bit of, I always say, if you get close to the fire, you get lit up. The further away you get from it, you peter out. And that's with health or business or anything. So sometimes it's just kind of drawing yourself back in, click and play in those videos, kind of doing those daily activities that, you know, and then once you do them, like I was reading a text message that somebody sent me last night. I'll read it to you girls. I said, you know, it just takes 1 or 2 text messages from people having health or wealth results for you to be like, boom, like right back in the driver's seat, right? Where you're like, I got to get out and help some more people because it's so encouraging to hear those stories. So I had a gal last night. She reached out to me. I'm going to read it to you guys. This was really great. She said this, Renita, call me yesterday, 8:41 p.m. Renita, call me crazy. I can tell that my son is calm on the inside in his own skin. He's not yelling at me or in my face saying, Mom, Mom, Mom anymore. I just asked him if he felt any different. His exact words were, I don't know, but can I take it before school tomorrow? I am only giving him 30 milligrams before bed. Maybe it's a fluke or too soon. Lots of question marks. I have had 2 good nights already with this kid. No yelling, she said. And then she goes, 2 good nights. And I said, seriously, I'm telling you at work. She goes, I'm in heaven in my own home. You know, because he was having some emotional outbursts and that kind of stuff. So I said I was really thinking to myself, people, like you get one of those, you want to go talk to 5 moms.
Oh my gosh, because you know so many of them, right?
Yeah, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. So I'm like, sometimes that initiation of someone having a positive health or financial experience really that's what motivates me. Like when my team or somebody that I've shared it with has had something great happen, oh, that just gets me fired up. I want to go talk to 20 people, you know? Awesome how that works.
How old is your son?
I think her son is like, I want to say 8 or 9 in there.
Okay.
Yep. And she's been kind of having some problems. And they were actually thinking about getting him on some medications, you know, for some of the, like, you know, like ADHD type symptoms and whatnot. And she said, I just want to try this first because if I can go natural. And I'm like, absolutely. So hopefully it works. I mean, it sounds like it is already, so we'll see what happens.
Oh, that is great news.
It is. Brecca, have you been following all the stuff at the legislator?
I have. I just find it crazy. Like, I thought it was so amazing how when I was texting these legislators, they were actually texting me back. I was like, I wasn't expecting them to, you know? But that was pretty powerful.
It was powerful. You know what I said it really did is just empowered people to go do something that they've never, ever done. Kind of like the You Can boot camp, right? It's just empowering people to do something that maybe they've never, ever done in their whole lives. Like never been involved in the political process, never talked to a legislator. Right, Pam?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And so these people suddenly felt like they had voice. We had mothers and grandmothers and women that had their kids calling. Like, I mean, it was crazy. And so now we just need to make sure that they call again and say, okay, with everything that's been amended and the changes that have been made, it's appropriate to say yes. You know, the bill is appropriate to say yes. But yeah, it's been interesting. Have you heard anything from your sister-in-law?
Not a word.
Okay.
She's been liking more and more my posts lately, though, so I think she's finally starting to
warm up.
Loosen up a little bit. But
her sister-in-law actually worked for the Board of Pharmacy, Pam.
I think I remember, like initially there were some rough waters there, and so way to go navigating through that. So,
yeah.
You know what, Renita, we maybe should jump in on the beliefs so
Let's
that
go.
people who rewatch the video.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So really when you look at the beliefs, we're talking about beliefs tonight, Brecca, and it's belief in, there's a few beliefs that matter in network marketing, right? Especially when you're building, I mean, as an entrepreneur, you have to build your own belief because if not, it's hard to be contagious with others. And people, I've always said, they don't buy you. I mean, they don't buy the product, they buy you. They buy into your belief of what it is that you're talking about. Isn't that, it's so true when you really think about that statement. Anyway, and so there's a couple different beliefs that matter. Belief in yourself, belief in the product, belief in the opportunity. And sometimes that one's tough for people, especially if they're coming from just a typical W-2 paid employee and they've never been part of a home-based business. Belief in the opportunity, they may have more difficulty right there because they've never been an entrepreneur. They've certainly never been in network marketing. So belief in the opportunity, belief in your products, like I said, and belief in the product. So products, opportunity, yourself, and then the leadership. The leadership is so important. And today, like when I watch that, I am literally just honored. Like if you guys, Stuart Titus is Randy too. Randy, like a moment's notice, Randy will like just help me out. But Stuart Titus, like I email him or text him, within moments he texts me back. Like he's so accessible. It's just unbelievable to me. But so yeah, so I just love that. I love the leadership. I love their hearts, that they have pure hearts, and what they say they're going to do, they do. And they ultimately love the people. You know what I mean? And so for me, like when Randy said that, it's really about who you're associating with. I thought, oh, that's so powerful, because sometimes people just get started with a business for whatever reason, and then they realize, I don't really care for the leadership. You know what I mean? And then that makes it difficult to grow your business, because you're kind of buying into that whole leadership and not only the message, but the leadership. And if you have a hard time with that, I think it is difficult to learn and grow in your business.
That was something that I really researched when I first looked at the company too, was the leadership. That was really important to me, because it's got to start from the top down. But I think another reason why we have such access is because of the stage that we are at in this company, being a new company. We are the ones that are doing it, and so we have got access to those people. So it's a great time for those who are all getting in at this time that have that ability to have that access.
It's so true. In fact, I was talking to somebody today out of Wyoming, Minnesota, this guy, Nick, that's kind of on fire. And he goes, well, how many people are doing this in the Twin Cities? And I'm like next to none. It's not like it's an inundated market. And I said, to put it in perspective, when I joined my first network marketing company 12 years ago, I was distributor number 350,000. 350,000.
Wow.
And do you guys know that in Canaway, in the United States, I think totality worldwide, there's 45,000 brand ambassadors total, and I think over half of them are in Europe. So if you're doing the math on that, where it's like maybe 15 to 20,000 maybe in the US, and then you ask yourself how many of those are actively working the business or actually got in just to be wholesale customers, right? So when you start doing the math, it's like, I mean, most network marketing companies, like when you go to enroll, a lot of times they'll give you a number, and sometimes it's the number of people that they've enrolled, and it's literally in the millions. And you just think to yourself, how many people are, distributors?
So that translates into also just belief in our industry, and the fact that multi-level marketing, what Bill Gates and Zuckerberg both said, if they had to do it over again, make their money over again, they would do it in multi-level marketing, direct distribution. How many companies does Warren Buffett have that are direct distributed? I think like 7 maybe. So just
all of them. I mean, Amazon has an affiliate program. That's just a fancy name for network marketing.
Right, exactly.
So it's not like what it once was, where there was that stigma or that fear. I really feel like we're way beyond that at this point in the game. And this, technology has really helped, because we've always promoted what we've done as a home-based business, right? We've always talked like that. It's a home-based business. Now it's literally a home-based business. You could grow your business from a Zoom meeting, an iPhone, Facebook Lives, and never really even go out of your house if you didn't want to. I mean, and that's the power of a home-based business. Hey, Julie.
Hi.
I think too, with the industry the way it is, I read some statistics recently, and over 50% of the homes are involved in a multi-level marketing business. So people are really seeing it as a viable business now. That has kind of been a stigma, that it's not really a business.
Right.
But now that everybody has relatives, close relatives, and neighbors that are in a multi-level marketing business, and I believe it was last year, $32 billion was sold through direct distribution, through network marketing. So it's really come into its own as far as being recognized as a viable revenue generating business.
And what I love about it, what I think powerful with network marketing is usually with network marketing, you're going to have more and better education than with a typical product. You walk into a store, you buy something, education may or may not be there. With network marketing, usually if you're signing up with a brand ambassador or distributor that, you know, is actually working the business and involved in the company, usually there's a better level of education than just traditional walk in, purchase the product, walk out businesses, really.
And I think that, again, translates into belief in the company. Our company, the training that we have in our company is so accessible. The Wednesday night webinars, the Echo Connection, all the training that's right on the website. I know there are videos on the website that I have not watched. But now just trying to make it a habit that every Wednesday night I'm on that webinar. If I'm not, that the next day, because that blog is has such great information. It's so pertinent, and it is what's happening right now in the industry or in our company or with our products.
Right. I think people don't know about that blog, Pam. A lot of people don't know about that Canaway blog. And in fact, I mean, but there's lots of great stuff. All those articles that you kept quoting in the last couple of weeks with the Yahoo Finance and Top 5 and all that stuff, that's right all in that Canaway blog if people are going and looking at that.
Right. So I know Randy had said every day he starts his day out just whether it's 2 minutes looking at what's happening in the industry, whether it's in lawmaking or if he's going to Yahoo Finance or stocks, but just really staying educated in that. And it can happen right at our very own blog. You don't have to go any further than that, but there are other resources.
Yeah, the blog is incredible. So do you guys use that, Julie and Brecca? Are you guys reading the blog?
No.
I am not. I'm not really familiar with the blog, to tell you the truth.
Okay, so I'll just show it to you because we can screen share.
Okay.
So let me just pull it up real quick here. Are you guys, have you been able to get on any of the Wednesday night webinars at all?
I've rewatched a couple of them, but most of the time I'm putting kids to bed at that time, so I haven't been able to catch them.
Sure. So a great thing is that they always do record those, and they're always available the next day. They usually have it right. They email it out again on the very next day. So I like that because, you know, not everybody is accessible that exact time, but very easy to access, very easy to go just plug in a little bit later. So I say that when you're sponsoring somebody that is building a business, it's so important that you let them know about that, because if they, like, I had a gal that actually reached out to me and she said, what does your company do for training? People want to know that, you know? And so to know that you always every Wednesday night are going to get trained, whether it's the health or the wealth or the science or some facet of it, is going to be really, really powerful. So.
And then I think the fact that it is recorded for those people that they don't have to, well, I'm not available on Wednesday nights, that they get that email the next day as a reminder what the webinar was, and then it's found on the blog too.
Right. And so the blog, if you just go to canaway.com at the very, very bottom, hang on a second. Let me share my machine with you here. A couple different things you can do to kind of access that area that we're talking about. Come on, Renita. Pull it back in, girl. Sometimes I have to just do a little positive self-talk for myself to get it going. Okay, so like one of the ways you can kind of access kind of what's going on, if you go to company and on here is the news, a lot of great stuff are going to be under the news button. So for example, and it might be strictly corporate related, like as you can see this, the news of Canaway, how to register those value packs, which by the way, some people, if they have their Believe convention tickets, I should just note this real quick, they actually a lot of times put those Believe convention tickets in the come on, help me out, the skincare, Can Active. The Can Active boxes is actually where if you ordered like a larger pack, they shoved them in the side of that. Brecca, did you ever get your tickets? Oh, she's
Yep, I did. I had to call customer service, and they ended up resending them because they weren't in my Can Active box. But I got them now.
But you got them, yeah. So if somebody accidentally threw them away, which is possible, that they just threw them away and not knowing what they were, they should call customer service. And obviously, if you purchase one of the larger packs, that pack is going to be on. The pack is that if it has listed, if the ticket was available to you, if you received it, and let's say you received it and threw it in the garbage, just call. They should have that record, and they tell them, you know what, I think I threw it in the garbage. Is there any way I can access it? And they probably will just register you right over the phone. I'm not sure if they did that with you, Brecca, or did they send you out another ticket?
Yeah, they sent me 2 brand new tickets. So,
Oh, that was good. Well, the closer it gets to convention, they might actually even just do that over the phone, you know? So
Yep.
anyway, so this is the new website is beautiful. Like, I love it because I feel like, well, first of all, when you just go to the very beginning, like when you just are at Canaway, the straight Canaway, it's really flashy how what comes across is the professional company you can count on. That's really how we branded ourselves, the professional company in a very unprofessional space. And boy, have I seen that louder and clearer than ever before in the last week. Haven't we, Pam?
Yes.
The cannabis space, you are experiencing, you think that people would be on board for you that are CBD, but if they are just completely pro marijuana, they may or may not be. That's the truth. And some of them deal with lack of etiquette. And so this really, when I never understood that saying, the professional company in unprofessional space, until the last week. Because I never thought it was so unprofessional until you start meeting some people that are in the cannabis space, unfortunately. And that's kind of sad, but the truth. And so I really love that we have branded ourselves that you can count on us, that we are a great company. But as you scroll down here, is this where I usually pull up my blog on my phone? Do you know that? Because I pull it up and I scroll to the bottom of Canaway. Is that where you go?
I go to the back office because it's under with the media stuff, with the social media, under social media. That's where I go to the blog at.
It's all the way at the very bottom, like under marketing, right, Pam? Yep. Okay, we can pull that up too. Let me do that instead, because on my phone though, you can scroll all the way to the bottom and you'll get the blog access and it'll come on there. I accessed it the other day too. Hang on a second. Let me see here.
So anyway, building belief in the industry as far as multi-level marketing, and then as well as building your belief in the cannabis industry. Those are two huge things to stay on top of.
Right.
Echo Connection is another place where you can build your belief. Did you get it?
Let me see. Unless it's just a little further down. Keep going down here, baby. Recent comments.
And then in addition to that, building your belief in the company also includes our compensation plan. And just knowing that we have the best compensation plan with our revenue, the revenue sources that we have, and are able to generate the incentives that they give us, and paying twice monthly. And when you go through any of the compensation training and they explain what other companies are doing, I love our compensation plan. And the longer you stay in it, the bigger the checks get. That's how they've built the compensation plan. So I think that's ingenious of them.
Yeah, I love what you just said is really good, and it's true. The longer you stay in it, the more you love the compensation plan. Not only can you make more money, but the more you love the compensation plan. When you first start, I feel like it's just like you're confused. You're like, what are we doing, or what is it all about? It seems almost overwhelming or confusing for some people. But the truth is the longer you're in it, the more you love all those various ways of making money because you're actually getting paid on them. You know what I mean? As you grow your team and you start to grow. But right under here, under marketing tools, this is where Pam is pulling that up at the Canaway blog right there. And as you pick the Canaway blog, right under marketing tools, that's where I was. I thought it was the same one, Pam. It was exactly there. So it's under company. Yep. And it's usually under news. That's what I thought. So that's how I usually access it, company and then news. But as you go through here, you can read everything that is kind of going on in the media. There was the Wednesday webinar here is earn more direct selling commissions, talks about the new ways of making money, the new branding of the starter packs, and then even stuff that is, like Pam said, outside of Canaway. Like, so here we go, 2018, actually that's still Canaway, but as we go down here, it's Yahoo Finance lists our company as one of the top 5. So they pull things on this blog that are not just Canaway, whether it's comp plan related or product related. They literally pull things on here that are going to be from media that they've had for the week, whether it's magazine, print. And that's another thing that I love that Blake said on the Wednesday webinar. We are everywhere. We are literally in the news on some type of media, whether it's print, the internet, all over. So, now there's so much online media, right? But whether it's newspaper, TV, whatever, we're in print. We are on media every single day with our, not just Medical Marijuana Incorporated, but all of our companies. Canaway, HempMeds, every day they're on the media. And I'm like, nobody else currently in the CBD space can talk it like that. you know, especially not a network marketing CBD company, because no other exists like us. But even in the CBD space in general, they're not getting media coverage from, I mean, they might be on, you know, CNN once and then it's off for like 6 months or something. With us, it's literally every day we are on the circuit of some type of media. And that is so powerful, not only moving the message of CBD, but moving the message of Kenway. Right. Because typically network marketing, you don't have the media talking about you unless it's saying that the FTC is trying to take you down. That's the truth. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, the last time I heard about Young Living is when the FTC was trying to shut them down because they were making health claims. Literally, that was the last time I ever heard from that company in the media. And you look at our media announcements, and they're not negative. Every one of them is positive. Right. It's just so powerful, you know? So go ahead, Pam. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. One thing about what comes through on the blog, and they do put new things on there every day, but it is something to toot your horn about every day. If you're looking for something to toot your horn about your business, about the company, about the industry, go to the blog and toot your horn. And the blog information is great information just to jump on and say what's new, what happened with Canaway, or what happened in the industry on a live video. And it's a nice way just to get used to doing lives, which of course help to get viewership and get pushed up in the social media. So great place to look for ideas as well as training.
I love that. A lot of people don't know about the blog. So that was a very good point, Pam. And so again, you can access that from your back office, or you just go to company and then news, and then it literally pulls it up. And so you can just keep scrolling and reading and scrolling and reading. And so that's a great way to do it. And all this over here is the most recent, of course. And they're talking about, you know, the convention and getting registered. And of course, that corporate weekend, that's now on here as well. So in addition to getting emailed that webinar the next day, if you've possibly missed that Wednesday night webinar, you can actually go right here and watch it again. And it's usually posted the next day as well. So lots of ways to activate your business. I feel like some of these tools, like you know, people have not even utilized them. They don't know about them. They don't know how to access them. And only until you come to this new website, I've just been actually coming here because it looks different. And what I always like to do is familiarize myself, because when I familiarize myself, my belief in myself goes up. If I don't know, if I'm confused and I don't know how to direct somebody, I don't feel confident. My belief is down. But as soon as I go, let's say I go learn something, oh my gosh, did you guys know that you can access, like I was like, I love the video of Costa Rica. Do you guys know this? Have you noticed this? I've been playing this everywhere because it's fun. But I've learned how to access it. Should I show you guys how to access it? You click on company, promos. So when you click on promos, this is how you access the Costa Rica video. And I go right up here to search because I want to find Costa Rica, baby. And so as soon as that comes up, that's boom, right there's my video I always show. And I figured out what to click on. Took me a couple times of doing it wrong, but once I got it right now, I feel like I'm addicted to showing Costa Rica video. It's like every meeting I'm doing, people are dancing with the Costa Rican music, right? And watching the monkey. So it's interesting how when you build your belief and increase your confidence, isn't it incredible how you then automatically want to share? That's how I am anyway. When I learned like that Costa Rica video, I was like, everybody needs to see this video, right? Or when you learn something about the blog, you're like, I want to post about this blog every single day. So it's incredible how that works, isn't it?
Right. Well, so we've talked about belief in the industry, we've talked about belief in the company, and then belief in the products. And that really comes from using the products. And we are, you know, we need to be users of the products and use a variety of the products, use all the products. And that just builds our belief in the products. And then as our customers begin using those products and start telling us what their experiences are, that builds our belief in our products. And so going on the Kway Global site and getting that type of motivation as we see how people are experiencing our products, those are huge. Then when you look at how our products are formulated and compare that to things that are happening with other products that are having reports of zero CBD in it when they have claims to be CBD, or they're actually synthetic THC and no CBD, you really begin to have that not only that faith, but that commitment to the level of the best that we have.
Oh my gosh.
I'll let you add.
You know, it's just so true. I mean, everything about, you know, by just looking what we have. Like I always said, I had a girlfriend once that said, you know how you know the people that test the money to determine if it's counterfeit or not, like where they make money in our country. She said, you know what they do to kind of learn how to spot counterfeit money? She said they study the real thing. They study the real thing. And so when the counterfeit comes across, it is like, boom, counterfeit, boom, counterfeit, boom, counterfeit. And I just think that's such an interesting analogy with life, because sometimes people want to look at all the other companies, and I'm too busy studying the real thing. So that when the counterfeit comes across the table, it takes me about 5 seconds to determine counterfeit, you know, where I think sometimes people, they build their belief in like looking at everything else. And I'm like, I want to build my belief in the company that I've aligned with, the company that I know is been around, like we've said, for over 10 years in this space of CBD, you know, created this space essentially. And so building your belief in the product happens by consumption of the product, watching others consume the product, whether that's K-Way Global or your own preferred customers and brand ambassadors, because they'll reach out to you and tell you what it's been doing. And I tell you, for me, a product experience is just a business booster for me. It is, because the reason it boosts business is it boosts my self-esteem and my confidence in the product, in myself and what I'm sharing. You know, my belief goes up in sharing. Oh, the sharing is working. Look at how it changed her and her son's life now. And it makes me want to go share some more. And what I realized about the right principles with belief, if you're building belief, your volume is going to go up. If you're building belief, your teams are going to grow. That's how you know if you're building belief or not. And if you're not building belief, it's going the opposite direction. Your team is shrinking, your volume is shrinking, there's no forward motion. So I can always tell almost in a second if people are building belief or not, right, Pam? And so it was interesting. Somebody reached out to me and they said, oh, do you know what all the health food store in Bismarck is carrying? And I said, I don't, and I don't really care. That's what I said. I said, because there's enough to go around. Well, by that time they had sent me a screenshot of it. And I thought, well, I'll just Google this product to see what it is that they're carrying at the shop. I'm not going to spend more than 60 seconds on it, because I just think it's silly to spend a long time studying the counterfeit, right? And so I went and looked, and the first thing at the website for this product that they're holding here in town, and it's quite expensive. I mean, it's like $700 for some of the bottles, which is pretty crazy. But when you read it on the website, it said, many of you know there's the 507 patent, and that the government took out. And I'm thinking to myself, they're literally talking about the patent at this website for this CBD company, and we hold licensing rights to the patent to create products for it. But some other no-name company is basically quoting this patent, not because they have licensing rights, just because everybody in the cannabis space likes to quote the 507 patent. And so in that second, I thought to myself, look at this. Everybody else is talking about essentially what we have. It's not even competition, I don't think. You know what I mean?
Well,
so
I love that analogy about the counterfeit money, because being the first in the industry to have come to market with a cannabinoid, a product that could be sold and marketed, everyone is trying to copy us. So they are copies. That analogy is perfect.
yeah, and it is perfect. And it is also perfect when Dr. Titus said that they did the testing on all of those products, that all those testing got randomly tested. So whether it was like bought on the internet or storefront, and out of all of those products that they tested for CBD, only 2 products had the actual amount of CBD in the bottle that it said on the label. 2 companies. And we were one of the 2. Not only did we have the amount, we had slightly more than the amount. But the truth is like, you know, the integrity with Canaway is there again and again and again and again. That's what I see, is the consistency of integrity, whether it's with Randy or Blake or Stuart or the products, the integrity is just there. So, and when I see that, my belief again, I'm like, oh, I'm so thankful I partnered with the very best, you know, because if not, we would be, you know, we'd be constantly talking about the very best, you know, everybody else is talking about that patent. We hold the licensing rights to the patent. You know, it's just crazy when you say it out loud. So yeah, it's so interesting. The timing is so perfect. And I think it's really important right now that everybody's belief in the whole world and especially in the United States of America, is going up on hemp right now. As we speak, their belief on hemp is going up. Their belief on CBD is going up. The belief in building a business is going up. These people might not have had the belief before the passing of the Farm Bill, but when the Farm Bill passed and made hemp legal in all 50 states, now the belief went through the roof. So I had people that have been in my business for a year, and since the passing of the Farm Bill, just the passing of the Farm Bill increased their belief enough for them to reach out to me to say, Renita, I think I want to do a B2B. And these people have never done anything with the business, but just because that switched, their belief went up and they thought, I think I can do this now. Isn't that something? You'll realize in life, people never act until they believe. They don't act until they believe. And so our job as Canaway brand ambassadors is to help people to increase their belief enough so that they either buy our products and be a consumer of our products for their health, or they build their belief enough about the business and the opportunity of not only CBD, but especially Canaway with I just keep saying this, education, Stuart Titus all day long today. My gosh, I could listen to that guy for 10 hours. Education, right? Innovation, all the products they're going to be coming down the pipeline with. They're ahead of the curve there. When he starts talking about batteries and the electrical charge of hemp, I'm like, okay, this guy is just a genius. Again, education, innovation, compensation, cultivation. We know where our cults are coming from right now. Currently, a lot of stuff is shifting with the American laws with hemp, and so we're not exactly sure where people should be planting hemp, right? There's kind of this, and like Scott said, he said people that are actually growing hemp in our country, when he did the research the other day, only 1% are growing it within the legal laws how they want us to grow it in our country. 1%. The rest of them are not even following the laws or the rules. So what are we getting? So all of that adds up to, again and again, it just makes everything else really simple to see what is a counterfeit when you're just studying the real thing all the time, when you're on that blog every day, when you're watching those videos, when you're listening to Dr. Titus, when you're consuming the products regularly, when you're sharing the products regularly, and you're getting testimony from people that love it. It's so easy, Pam. I just think this is the easiest, funnest thing I've ever done. Not saying that I haven't had moments where there's been pushback in the last year, like people threatening to arrest you and things like that. But look at me. I'm not in jail, and I'm better because of it.
Well, and not everyone is a Renita Branham, but the reason people are attracted to you is because you have such a strong belief, and that all of us need to work on building our own belief, because people can tell, just like you've said, within the first 5 seconds of your conversation, whether or not you really believe that this is the best company, whether or not you really believe this is the best product, that this is the best compensation plan, that they're going to trust somebody that they believe in. And you believe it through every fiber of your body. So people, when they do reach that point, who are they going to reach out to? Are they going to reach out to somebody who is kind of waffly on their beliefs, or are they going to reach out to somebody who is solid and knows this is the very best company, the very best product, the very best compensation plan? So it's really important for us as brand ambassadors that we build our belief, because people are not going to believe in us if we don't have that. And there's not competition between the brand ambassadors, because we're all unique and people are attracted to like people. Yeah. But when it comes to who am I going to buy from, when I've hit that point where I'm going to try CBD, you want your friends, your relatives to think of you, because right. You're in their circle of influence. Not to think of someone who's outside of their circle of influence just because that person seems to really, you can just tell it's oozing out of them that they know, and they know what they know, and they believe it is the absolute truth about. So anyway, I just want to throw that in, because we're not all you, Renita, and you're so awesome, and I so appreciate you. But for everybody else, it just takes building that belief. You had to build your belief, and there's no reason why any of us cannot be like you if that's what we choose to be.
Right. And I just was thinking about it when you were talking. It's almost like when you start dating someone before you marry them. Like, you might not just be like, oh, I'm going to marry this person, I'm so madly in love with them. I mean, maybe there's love at first sight, but usually you get to know them. And then what happens is you spend time together. You spend time learning about one another. You go on a couple of dates. Like, you start this growing process. That's what happens actually in business. You sign up for the business, and it's not like, okay, everything's hunky-dory, I'm going to go make $1 million. Like, you got to grow together in that relationship with your business. And then all of a sudden you've been dating somebody a full year and you're like, I am madly in love with this person and I want to marry them, right? And in Canaway, we kind of sign up first, and then of that year-long process, 6-month process, for some it happens quicker than others, where you really say, gosh, I really honor these people. I am really honored and so proud to be part of this company. The closer you get, and the more you watch the videos, the more you click on the blogs, the more you consume the products, the more you share the products, I'm telling you, it's like a love affair. And you're like, I love this everything about this, and it's kind of like it's a relationship, right? Your business is kind of like a relationship. So if you're not engaging in that relationship, whether it's with a marriage or friendship, it's probably not going to last very long. And when you're engaging, it only gets better. That's what I'm going to tell you. It only gets better the longer you're in it.
That's a great analogy. So we've gone through beliefs in the industry, beliefs in the company, belief in the product, and then belief in yourself. So Renita, I know that your relationship with God is really something that oozes out of you, which I so appreciate, just your boldness. That's something that I'm, becoming more confident in being able to be bold just by your example. But I know through listening to podcasts, that's something that I do, that I know you're very much an advocate of. Reading. What other kinds of things? I think as you stretch, of course, as you come out of that comfort zone and see that lightning didn't strike you when you did that thing, you can go back into that comfort zone, but you begin to see that you can grow and go outside and come back in, and then next time it's a little more comfortable to go outside, but you have to stretch yourself and push yourself to believe that I can do this and I'm not going to die.
No, exactly. And I think that's just the biggest thing in business. There's going to be change. And if you're in business and you want to do well in business, you just have to be part of that growth process. It's inevitable. Growth is inevitable in the world. I mean, whether or not we want to embrace it, like, we're all aging every day, right? And so the truth is like, we can't stop it. And I don't want to stop it because then I'll be in heaven, and I've got more work to do on earth. But the truth is like, I think that for some people, they correlate growth with being fearful, scary, uncertain. And I correlate growth with being an adventure. I don't know. It's just like how I framed it in my mind. Like, you know what? Like the other day I was like, okay, I got to go to the state capitol. I've never done this in my life. And then I thought to myself, what's the worst thing that can happen if I stand up and I say something wrong? These guys are all people just like me. They all have red blood in their bodies. They all have hearts in their bodies. We're all the same, essentially, And so I just thought, worst thing that can happen is I can just kind of screw up a little bit verbally, and then I sit back down, and then and on we go. At the end of the day, it's not a big deal. But I thought, what if I stand up and something I say makes an impact, where we can turn this ship around, because we certainly don't want the pharmacies running the show here. And just because of that, a lot of things moved. It was like a shifting that occurred, where I had a couple of them, you were there, Pam.
Yeah. Well, and I love what you said, because so I'm doing Rachel Hollis's book, Girl Wash Your Face. And this week it was about shifting your perception. So is it about what's happening to us? That's life. Yeah. Or about what we're going to make happen. And sometimes, so you shifted that perception from fear, you shifted it to adventure.
It is adventure.
And it's just a little shift in our perception, and, building that belief in ourselves, whether it's listening to podcasts, or those are so powerful when you find those podcasts where you have people's stories who had absolutely nothing, or they totally lost everything because of decisions that they made, and they turned around and they became a world changer. Yeah. And those are so empowering. And when you see they had nothing and here they went and changed the world.
Well, they like to say
We're changing the world.
the mess becomes the message, right? And so, I mean, all day long, and I love Ed Milet. You guys know that. He's kind of hard, but he's just right up my vein. Like, I need somebody that's at my level or higher to really inspire me deeply, like get me just going, and Ed does it. And I love how he says, God doesn't do things to you. He does things for you. And in those moments when it's really hard, it doesn't seem like it's for us. It actually seems sometimes against us. But the truth is if you really examine that and say, what did God want me to learn here, and how am I to use that? Not just to say, look what happened to me, but to say, how can I use what happened to me to serve you? And I think that's ultimately, and I said that to Scott, I said, the reason in business, I said, boy, Randy can handle a lot. Like in business, he can just handle a lot of people, a lot of stress, a lot of just languages, a lot of time zones. Like, he can handle a lot, and sometimes I think with our teams, like, we feel like, I got this one person that's really hard, and I'm like, well, if we can't deal with that person, how in the world are we going to go up in level? And so I think that at every stage, it's not like, oh gosh, this is so hard, why is this happening to me? Like that old saying says, don't pray that things get easier, pray that you get stronger, right? And so at the end of the day, it's not like God is doing things to us, he's doing things for us, for our continual growth. If we'll see it as that, it's like, again, you take off the black glasses and you put on the clear glasses, and you're like, oh, I guess this is how I can use that. You know what I mean? And I don't know, I think it's happening all the time, and I think it's just a mind shift. And I love the word shift, because I used it, I think, the other night on a mastermind call, because I heard a speaker once say, you shift until you get to your sweet spot. And until then, keep shifting. And then I listened to Ed Milet this week, and one of my favorites was on there, John Maxwell. I've just loved him and listened to a lot of his books and teachings, and great human being. And he said he wrote a new book called Leader Shift. And I'm like, there it is. There's the shifting again. I said, it's like the fourth time this week I've heard the word shift, So yeah, I think that in our moments where it's tough and there's growth, not seeing it as even tough, thinking, you know what, I can handle this. God has destined me for this, and it's for a greater purpose. I don't know what that is yet. And it's not like we just want everything hard to happen in our lives. Eventually I'm like, okay, can I get something a little bit easier, Lord? Like, just give me a season of easy. So I could just settle in, and then just to kind of catch my breath. Thank you very much. And then all of a sudden you're back in the fire. But you think about fire and life assignment, like fire is refinement. And that's what makes a diamond. You know what I mean? A diamond's a piece of coal, and gets enough pressure on it, it becomes a diamond. And we get enough pressure on us, we become diamonds. And so, I don't know, it's a refinement process. And I think I love to embrace the refinement process and move through it fairly quickly, versus sitting on it and complaining and being a victim for so long, because I feel like then I'm not helping not only myself, I feel like complete hell, I'm not helping anybody else. And I'm certainly not honoring God, Anyway, those are just my thoughts on it. Growth is good. Just start saying it out loud. Growth is good. Growth is good.
So I think as far as leaving our You Can campers, it's just been, I hope you have just received a tremendous amount of value. I know this was just like a really quick pop-up Zoom meeting that we'll make available, but just to leave our campers, everything that you did this week, from the foundations, they need to be revisited, from the home business reviews and the products, and then on to putting yourself out there in the social media, and then today to building that belief. All of those things help to build your belief. So whether you really take to heart, every day, what am I going to do to build belief in the company? Am I going to go to the blog? Am I going to, look at Yahoo Finance? Is there something in the news, or in multi-level marketing? Do I really understand that compensation plan and really know that this is my next goal? And they've laid it out for me to be nothing but a success as long as I do those 10 steps. And to have belief in the products, using the products, looking at the K-Way Global site daily, and finding at least one thing that you could either share with somebody, tag a teammate with, a business partner with, to help build their belief, and then building belief in yourself. And that comes with the choices that you make, in what you're reading, what you're putting into yourself, and putting yourself out to do. Randy, I think, recommends listening to a video every day for 90 days, whether it's a 10-minute video, a 30-minute video, a 90-minute video. And if people would do that, so for those of you who are in the You Can Bootcamp, if you listen to a video, and I don't know if it would just be, if he says just video or podcast, every day for 90 days, you're going to be in this for the long haul. And you're going to see changes and escalation in your personal skills and in your business skills. And then listen to the invite. Just put it on. I think he says put it on. It plays in the background, but put it on every day for 90 days. But once a week, listen to it intently. Otherwise, you can just kind of let it roll in the background. It's not that long. But in 90 days, you will be able to give an invite that is you have ownership of, that is authentically you giving an invite.
And I'll tell you one last thing I was thinking about belief. Belief is contagious. It's just contagious, Pam. You get around people that believe bigger than you. It's important that you get around people that believe bigger than you, not smaller than you. That's important. That's a tip in life. Because when you get around people that believe bigger than you, you know what? Something innately, I think that God, he's destined us for more. He's destined each and every one of us for greatness. And so what happens is you get around people that have a bigger belief, and it's almost like your soul and spirit rise to the occasion. They're like, I love that. I'm attracted to that. That's where I want to be. Versus it's very easy to hang around people that don't have good belief. And they don't have, they think, okay, God dealt me a bad deck of cards, and they're kind of living their life there at that frequency. And as a result, not much goes right. And if you hang out with them a long time, you begin to develop their belief as well. So I think that's why network marketing is such a powerful place to be, and to attend the conventions and to get on the webinars. And we're going to start doing a weekly meeting here in Bismarck. I'm starting actually next Tuesday already at Dickie's Barbecue in the evening at 7:30 at night is when it's going to be. But I'm going to start next week just to start doing weekly. I think I'm going to alternate. One week it's an invite to educate everybody about the products and the opportunity, and the next week it's going to be a teaching and training for those involved in the opportunity. And so I'm just going to alternate that just to create some good belief and some good value around town here, because excitement and belief are contagious, and all you need is a moment of inspiration of it's like that day at the Capitol when I saw that one guy get up and he kind of stuttered through it. I thought, well, I think I can do this. And then I said to the guy who's ahead of me, who's an attorney, I saw him hand out the sheet of paper, because they're all looking at it. I'm like, I said to the attorney, do I need one of those sheets of paper to give to those legislators? And he's like, no. I'm like, now I certainly think I can do this. When you get around somebody that is doing something and you just believe that you can do it. And that's why I think the network marketing business is so powerful. It raises your whole standard of where you live your life and what you think is possible. I like to just talk to Randy even for 10 minutes, because after I get off the phone with him, I'm like, okay, this is what we need to do. The belief just goes through the roof. So I love belief. It's my favorite thing about life, because I think people always will operate from their position of belief. Lack of it, or if it's a lot of belief, you'll know it. But if it's a lack of it, you'll know that too. So
anyway, I'm ready to put the music back on to finish.
Okay, wait, I got to show one more thing. I want to show one more thing, and then you can dance, because I know it's a dance party, but like this, have you guys seen the movie Paid Forward?
Yes.
This is what we are all doing. I'm just going to play a little section of it, because it talks about what we're doing with network marketing, and especially with Canaway and CBD. It's something that is literally changing the world. It's something that cannot be kept quiet. It cannot be done by just one person. If we're going to help 1 million people nourish their endocannabinoid systems this year, it's going to take an army of us. So I'm just going to play this just for a second, and then Pam, you're going to take it out with the dance party. Yeah. Okay, hang on a second. There's a quick ad here, but we'll make this bigger. Sorry about the ad. Ooh, I didn't know that.
How humiliating. Children would be key in teaching.
I love this movie. This Paid Forward.
What if the world is just a big disappointment? Unless You take the things that you don't like about this world and you flip them upside down, and you can start that today.
That's me, and that's 3 people, and I'm going to help them. Then they do it for 3 other people, then they do it for 3 more. But it has to be something really big, something they can't do by themselves.
I mean, do you guys love that? I mean, just it gives me chills just watching it. It's so powerful to think about, right?
Yes.
Anyway, and so I just go back to that many times. I'm like, you know, it just takes one person who has a heart to want to see a major change. And if they go out and they just start infecting people, and if we could all just do that and live from that heart of service, I think that, I don't know, it could change the world. It really honestly could. And it is. That's the truth. It is changing the world. So we're excited about that. So Pam, let's dance.
Thank you guys for participating this week. I'm hoping that it was valuable for you and that you are receiving some benefits of it right away today, this week, to boost your business onto the future. So, all right. Have a great night and a great week. And I'm just going to find my music and we'll finish it off here.
We'll finish it up with a little dancing. Dancing is just good for the soul.
Amen.
I didn't know this song. Julie, you better get up and dance.
I can't hear the music.
Hey, Julie, way to go!
Woo, Julie! That's awesome. I love it. Light a fire. That's funny. I love it. Super fun, Pam. I think we got to get up and dance every day. It's just as good for it's good for the body and it's good for laughter and the soul, isn't it?
It is. Yep.
All right. Well, I'll get this uploaded to YouTube and we'll post it a little later on tonight.
Sounds
Bye!
Thanks,
Bye.
Pam.
I can't see you anymore. You disappeared.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Good night.